Welcome to Just Between Us, the podcast with all of the answers, some of the time.
We're your hosts. I'm Dinah Vickers.
And I'm Alice Giddings, and I spend my days at Metro deep diving into the wonderful, wild, and downright scandalous world of sex, love, and relationships.
And I'm here to add my 2 cents. Every week we'll be listening to your stories and answering your burning questions. No topic is off limits, from sex parties to orgasms. We are here.
So hold the line as we dish out our best advice with a healthy dose of curiosity, empathy, and of course, plenty of chaos.
And we'll share our own experiences because, let's be honest, we've both made some questionable decisions along the way.
And that's just between us.
Hi, love.
Hello.
Back again.
I know. Not a moment too soon.
How have you been?
I've been good. I've had a much less exciting week this week, unfortunately. But I went to a wine tasting with my best friends.
Lovely.
So that was nice.
Gorgeous.
Very hot, though. And I forgot my hay fever tablet. So I was a streaming mess.
Babe, it's a nightmare out there, isn't it?
It's not for the weak, I tell you. It's really not. It was brutal. But apart from that, yeah, I've just been chilling out. My boyfriend cooked me dinner last night.
I saw that on Instagram. Was it steak?
Steak, asparagus, and fries. I think we put parmesan on the fries.
Oh,
really
it
good.
looked stunning. Was it al fresco as well?
Yeah,
Oh,
on our
yum.
balcony.
Oh.
We had candles, we had wine.
Living
very
the
nice.
dream, babe.
I know. It's rare, but it happens.
Gorgeous.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm a little bit fragile. I just got back from Glastonbury.
Oh my gosh, who did you see?
I saw everyone. Anyone who's anyone. Everyone was there. It was super, super fun. I saw loads of bands. I saw like Nile Rodgers, Charlie XCX, love her. She was in the backstage area and a bunch of our friends got to applaud her as she left. And
Did I see a cheeky link up with Dermot O'Leary as well?
yeah, blast from the past. I loved Dermot so much. I loved him so much on the X Factor. He was just so lovely and warm. And my friend Jack Guinness, who I absolutely adore, Jack and Ollie, they're friends with him. And then I see him around Dermot every so often and we have a chat. But I went over and we got a little picture for old time's sake.
Aww.
He's just the nicest man in show business.
Is it like 17 years since you've
Yeah.
done X Factor as well?
I realised that today, actually. My
That's a long
drive,
time.
it's mental. It makes
And
me
it
feel
seems like that.
really old. What has happened then? It's wild. It's wild. But yeah, I haven't aged a day.
No, you genuinely have not. I don't say that to be
I
nice.
tried my best. But yeah, so that was really fun. But I'm a bit worse away. Glastonbury's so intense. You've got to get so stuck in.
Yeah, I've never been.
Babe, it's great.
Oh,
It's
but I'm
great.
not one for camping though.
I honestly, everyone was like, oh, but you did it really glamorous. I took a tiny, tiny tent and parked up next to my friends, and it was like the size of a plastic carrier bag. It was tiny, but I literally spent about 7 hours in that tent in 2-3 days.
Oh, she's a party animal. We love it.
I just go for it. But I did go in a friend's Winnebago backstage, and I thought, what am I? This is a life I need to leave.
Yeah,
So I've got
slumming it.
2 years to get myself a Winnebago. So
Okay.
it's happening.
I'll hold you to it.
Yeah, absolutely. You could come in, babes.
So we have this week's caller, and it's Mia. And she has just moved in with her long-term boyfriend, but it's not quite the honeymoon she expected it to be.
Oh, right. Right. Let's hear it. Let's get her on the line. Come on.
Hello, can you hear me?
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, love. Yeah, is that Mia?
Yes, this is Mia. How are you?
Hi, Mia. Really good, thanks, Donna. How are you?
Good, yeah, I'm doing well, and I'm excited to be chatting today.
Oh, fabulous. So I'm Diana.
And I'm Alice. Can you tell us a bit about where you're calling from first?
Yeah, absolutely. I am calling from Milan, Italy.
Oh,
Lovely.
fancy, exotic. And how old are you again, darling?
I am 28 years old.
28 years old, right?
Lovely stuff. Okay, well, tell us a bit about what's brought you here today. How can we help?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, definitely a big fan of the podcast.
Oh,
And
thank
I definitely think I have an interesting situation to share. So I'll give you a little bit of context. I'm very much in a moment of self-development, if you will, and career development. I am a startup founder. And I am currently in the early building stages of my startup. And so that brought me and my partner, who I've been with for 8 years, into kind of a difficult situation. We decided to essentially, quote unquote, move home to save money and to move back in with family to save money in order for me to actually develop my company. We're actually moving in with both of my grandmothers. So I know.
Right, okay. Double grandma, right?
It sounds overwhelming.
Mm-hmm.
So is the dilemma that you're finding this is really affecting your relationship and
Mm.
your personal life?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely affecting my personal life
Mm.
because even though there is a caretaker, I am their grandchild. And so absolutely, these are two extremely dependent human beings and being there, being at home, being present a lot of the times, even if the caretaker is present, they will kind of go to me for help. Of course, it affects my partner in the same way. He's kind of taken on this caretaker role as well. But to be completely honest, it's not so much that has been a problem, but we are in a household surrounded by my grandmothers who not only does their presence really take a toll on the mood, and if we want to really be sexual at home, because I won't lie, it feels kind of weird sometimes just
Mm.
knowing that they are on the other side of the wall. But also, like I said, these are people that require a lot of attention and who are constantly either knocking on our door asking for help and very, very consuming and very present. But they are old ladies who sometimes get lost in the apartment and we'll just barge in to the room, whether we're sleeping or if we are trying something, it might be during one of those moments. And so essentially I guess the dilemma I am facing is, when do I have time or the space or the moment, and most importantly the mental ability to connect and explore with my partner when in this, for lack of a better way of putting it, super uncomfortable, not sexual, naturally not sexual environment that we're living in temporarily. So I guess it's that. It's really, we can take a couple weekends and travel and get away, but it's just so not sustainable, especially since the whole point of this is to save money. We can't be dropping €1,000 every couple of weeks, escaping to a hotel or escaping to vacation to have these intimate moments, to have sex. I would love to hear your insight if you have any advice for me on when should I and when can I have sex and how can I do it and how can I be intimate when I honestly just feel so turned off all the time knowing that my two grandmothers are sharing a space with me.
Mm.
Yeah, I'm not surprised that that is something that has taken a toll on feeling in the mood. I don't think anyone really
Yeah.
feels.
Absolutely. The only thing I can sort of relate to is when I've taken a boyfriend home to my parents' house
Yeah.
and you're in your childhood bedroom and you know that your mum's next door and you just feel so guilty and uncomfortable and you
Yes.
feel like a teenager again and it's really, really difficult to separate it and you
Yeah.
feel like you're doing a really naughty thing
Yeah.
and
Yes.
you can't
Yeah.
focus and you're like, oh my God, what if they hear me? And you're thinking, oh God, well, they won't, but it's hard. So go on, Alice.
I think, can I ask another question? I think, how much of this mental load is your boyfriend, your partner? Is it boyfriend or fiance or husband?
No, it's boyfriend, yeah.
Okay, how much of that mental load is he taking from you? You know, you've both moved in with your grandparents. How
Yeah.
much does he take on in terms of your relationship and your caring responsibilities as well?
Yeah. So if I'm being completely honest, I would say it's he probably does 60% of the caretaking. I try to be as present as I can, but like I said, in this dynamic, I'm the founder, and this sacrifice that we're making is really for me and for my career. And so I'm in a moment where I'm extremely busy. I'm working very, very, very long hours. And so a lot of the domestic work he has taken on. Um, and he's definitely taken a big emotional and mental load of it as well.
I was going to say how great that is to have such a supportive partner and a great
Yeah,
team. You just said that
he's the
he's
best.
there and you're doing this together, and he's is taking a lot of the
Yeah,
responsibility as well. And you said about the sexual chemistry, so just great to have that
yeah,
after 8 years. By the way, just to
yeah.
say. But sorry, continue.
Thank you. Yeah, no, thank you. Yeah, I recognize how blessed I am. I feel like for us, it's like every year it just gets better and better and better. And so we've been very blessed. And then also emotionally and in terms of our relationship, generally speaking, it just gets better and better every year. So definitely super blessed. He's very present. He's a great partner. Um, but yeah, but in terms of the actual workload, I think we're both extremely high stress, extremely high, a lot of pressure. For me, it's work plus home life. For him, it's the caretaking and then also seeing me in the state of stress that I'm in. So there's definitely several layers to it and different things that kind of play into it, which is why I really want to find the time and the space to prioritize our connection because that's the one thing. Everything else is on fire except our relationship. Our relationship is great.
So I think I've been thinking while you've been talking, and one thing I would say is that your body is in a constant state of stress. So you're going to be in fight, flight, freeze. And it sounds really dramatic, but when your body's in a state of stress, that's just like how it goes. That's what your body does. So to then go straight from that to sex, it's not a natural progression and it's going to feel
Right.
exhausting. Um,
Mhm.
so if you're in such a state of giving this whole time, what I would say, first of all, because obviously, like you said, the chemistry and the sexual connection, that's not the issue, which is
Right.
amazing, especially after 8 years.
Yeah, so good, so
Yeah.
good.
But what I would say is ask yourself what your pleasure time looks like for you. And I'm not talking about sexual time, I'm talking about how do you unwind and relax in kind of, little areas during the day. Do you have any sort of moments that you take for yourself throughout the day when you're not, spending €1,000 on going away with your partner?
Yeah, I will say they are a little bit limited, but the couple of moments I will find, for example, if I'm finishing a stream of calls and then I have a moment before, like, okay, let's kind of take a second, breathe, and then start another task. And I'll usually kind of try to steal him away and be like, hey, let's go have a coffee downstairs. And that's kind of our moment to chit chat.
Okay, so what I would say, and obviously that, verbal connection is really important and emotional connection is really important.
Yeah.
So I don't think that obviously that should be sacrificed in its
Right.
entirety. But I do think that, I mean, I don't know if it's practical to suggest that you maybe get a lock for your bedroom door.
I was
So
just you. It's like you were in my brain. Then I thought, can we get a lock on this door?
yeah, my
I
my
know, it's so right.
my thinking is maybe we, if possible, try and get a lock on the door.
Because it's creating a boundary as well, isn't it? And it's respecting your own
Yeah.
boundaries, which I think
Yes.
that is, it.
Yeah.
You need to do that. We all need to do that.
And I would
Yeah.
take that time that you're spending with your partner, which is so great that you're carving out that time to do that, even in what sounds like the most stressful period of your life
It's a
so far.
lot.
Um, and I would maybe on some days, not every day, move that into your bedroom and really try and make that a sanctuary, a safe space where you're connecting, keeping
Mhm.
the world out if possible, where possible, and really focusing on your trigger points. So women have, and I would love to know if this is the case for you, but 80% of women have responsive desire. So we need an erotic trigger
Mm.
to make us aroused. So that is something that I think you could really focus on trying to
Yeah.
remain present with. Is there anything that particularly gets you in the mood or gets you excited when you're with your partner?
Yeah. Yeah, I think as you're saying this, I'm kind of already picturing something that really kind of brings that connection on. I think for me, it's kissing. And so maybe being like, hey, instead of grabbing a coffee today, do you want to make out? Do you want to literally just go and make out? And I think that very, very quickly and supernaturally will calm my nerves and kind of have me a little bit more centered and then um progress to get us in the mood.
Absolutely.
Yeah, baby, bring your cappuccino into the bedroom. Why not do coffee and snogging? That sounds like an absolute dream to me.
Yeah, perfect
Wasn't that
date.
scene in Sex and the City when her Berger and Carrie, they didn't have much chemistry in the bedroom, but they had loads of chemistry in the restaurant. So they set up the bedroom
Mm,
like a little cafe. Not that you're lacking the
yes,
chemistry, but they then made it into their sort of home and a sacred space for them. Yeah, that's some
yeah.
great advice. I love that.
Yeah, and
Okay.
obviously it's hard because, you've got elderly grandparents.
Mm,
There's still going to be moments where, they try and knock on the door or come
mm,
in. But I think, you know, you really just have to, in that moment, prioritize yourself and know that it's okay if it's a bit awkward or
mm.
embarrassing, like if you can hear them coming, great.
Yeah.
Um, but things happen. You're living with your grandparents.
Yeah,
It's not unheard of that people have sex in the house when their parents or grandparents are there,
Mm-hmm.
and just
yeah,
really try and be present in the moment. You can, put music on if that helps, like drown out the awkward noises that might come
Yeah.
from down the hall, or even just starting to, I don't know, maybe watch something a bit erotic
Could
together.
you send a little
yeah.
cheeky, sexy pictures, the text during the day as well, just to sort of just before you've got that coffee break, doing that, like
Yeah.
implementing these little things throughout the day. That's what I would
Yeah.
do.
No, I love that. I think also something that's so important is just like remembering to find these like moments of connection in the
Mm,
mundane, where we can like flirt a little bit if we pass each other in the kitchen or
yeah.
kind of have like a little funny or fun moment, whether it's kind of joking with one another. So I love this because during the day, even if we're busy, it's so much easier to like switch your mindset and switch your mood from high energy and focus on work to high energy and sexual than it is from super sleepy to sexual. So I feel like yeah, that's amazing advice. Thank you so much.
That's okay. So we
Yeah.
can sum up with a quick action plan for you if that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So definitely prioritize that moment of connection, no matter how short or long it is. Make sure that you carve that time out. Remember that scheduling sex or sexy time is not unsexy. I feel like that gets a bad rep. So
Mm.
100% focus on building up to that moment and really taking the time to connect with your partner. Do try and get a lock on the door if possible.
Yeah.
I think that would be very beneficial.
Amen.
Um, but yeah, just I think you're doing everything right. You've got a really brilliant, strong relationship.
Connection. It's so beautiful to have that connection.
Yeah.
And also,
Yeah.
it might seem a lot right now, but you're going through such a great time in your life. It seems that you're achieving a lot and you've got a really great, solid partner. So, um, yeah, congrats on that. And I guess it's just about
Thank
watering it
you.
in the right way.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, definitely. Well, thank you so much, guys. This was really helpful and super lovely to chat. And yeah, love the show.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you
Take care,
so
darling.
much.
And yeah, and keep in
Thank
touch. Let us know how you get on.
course, yes, we can do. I'll call back in a couple weeks and let you know how it's going.
Amazing. Thank you,
Yay.
darling.
Amazing.
Ciao.
All right. Thank you.
Bye.
Ciao, 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 ciao.
Gosh, it is so hard because I'm quite spontaneous when it comes to sex, especially like a little afternoon delight as well. And the thing that it's reminding me of is when I had boyfriends and we lived with my sister. And we were both freelance, so there was a bit more of spare time, and she was at the office a little bit. But then when she was working more from home, and you felt really on top of each other, and you'll think it's just very it's not very sexy, is it? Especially when you've got the house, and you want to sort of roam free and be spontaneous, and then she's on work calls, and I'm 4 o'clock. I'm like, right, come on, it's really hard.
So hard. So hard. I mean, up until a month ago,
Mm.
lived with a roommate, and so like having my partner over just the least sexy thing ever. It was so frustrating.
I know, you're just always on pins, and then you're thinking that can they hear us? Or I think we went on a holiday with some friends once, me and my partner at the time, and then the next morning we woke up and people were like, "Oh, we heard you last night." You think you're being really quiet as well. Oh my gosh, what? How did you even hear that? And then you get really embarrassed.
I did have like the most, well, I have been walked in on, I will
Oh
say.
no, really?
Yeah, although it was many, many years ago, thank God.
Who walked in?
Um, my boyfriend's stepdad.
Oh my gosh. Was it a real moment of chaos?
I mean, it was under the covers, which is my only saving grace. So I still don't think he actually clocked
Yeah.
what he walked in on, but we were fully spooning and like
Oh
doing the
my
deed.
goodness.
And then but because he didn't realize, he was like, "Oh, I'm going out to get breakfast. Like, what do you guys want for breakfast?" And then like had a full 5 minute chat.
Gosh, imagine if you were
What?
doing reverse cowgirl. It would not have gone down like that, babe.
It honestly traumatizes me to this day.
Oh my gosh, babe. I know. I totally get it. I don't know if I've ever been walked in on. I know that I also did a job and we all had to stay away, sort of like on a campus thing. And someone said, I heard you masturbating, which was really quite upsetting.
And had
And
they?
I don't know, but they had told everyone else in the company that they'd heard it. And I was so mortified and I got really upset. And I remember I went to a party maybe a year later and everyone at the party knew about it.
What?
I know. I thought that was really,
That's
really.
actually bang out of order.
Isn't that bang out of order?
I will say that was very naughty.
I think it was so naughty, and I think that they were just quite, chuffed to have heard it, whatever. But yeah, I was quite upset about that really, and also I don't really know if it was anyway, but I'll never know. Maybe I was, and so what? Whatever. You had a good time.
Yeah, my mum overheard me one time,
Oh
and I was
gosh.
just like, she was like, "Oh," but I don't think she really clocked what she'd heard, and she was like, "Were you okay?"
Oh, I thought she thought you were in agony or something. You're like, actually, I was having the time of my life,
Yeah, and
Mum.
I was like, "Oh yeah, just bad endometriosis pain or whatever. Like, wasn't my best time. I didn't sleep well." And she was like, "Oh," and I was just
Oh, bless. Mortified. The worst
mortified.
is as well, I think when I was, with my sister and I've had boys round, it's the old creak of the bed above the living room.
Yeah,
And I spent a fortune on that bed as well. I'm fuming. Liberty. Oh, I need my money back. No, I love that bed. It's like a throne or whatever. It's like a banquet thing. Anyway, but yeah, it's you think that you're safe and then the bed starts creaking and
hmm
it's a nightmare.
I will say one of my long-term boyfriends is like not great as it was. Didn't actually have a bed frame. It was just a mattress on the floor because they were in the middle of like renovating the house next door. So they didn't buy him a bed because they needed to get a new bed in the future. So he just had a mattress.
Yeah.
No noise.
I actually did that with a guy. He was moving in. He was moving into his own place, and we just had a mattress, and it was quite good actually. No clanging of the old headboard to rat yourself out when you're having a good time.
Yeah, it's not the
Yeah, but
one.
it just must be. It must be hard for me because you've got this duty of care, don't you? So you always feel you need to be switched on and have a responsibility, and um, it's a lot
Yeah.
being a carer. And even if they do have help, you still, like I said, you still feel that responsibility.
Well, I even feel like I I mean, I don't have any care responsibilities. I don't even have a cat at home. But I still, like, my relationship now, we've been together nearly 2 years, and I will come home from work and I'm already like battery on low
Mm.
and I'm so exhausted, and then I've got to clean and I've got to cook, and like my partner helps with all these things. But it's just the thought of like that mental list you're going through. You're like, right, I've got to do this. And then I think, oh, I should prep for work tomorrow. Or, oh, I need to do this. Or I said that I would, do a clean because we've got guests coming at the weekend. And
Yeah.
it's like 10 o'clock, you get into bed. And I will set like a mental timer in my head. So I'll have a shower and I'll be like in the mood when I'm in the shower, and I'll be like, right, I really want to do the deed tonight. And then if my partner, through no fault of his own, is like too slow to bed, that mental clock has ticked down in my head.
Yeah.
I'm like,
And then you're
"You've
annoyed
run
at
out of
him as
time."
well.
Yeah.
Well, it's over now. You had your chance and now you've missed it.
Yeah. And I'm annoyed, and now it's 10:30. It's not 10 anymore, and I want to
know.
go to bed
Oh
because I
God,
don't want to
it
be
is.
tired
You've got to think about all
tomorrow.
these things when you've got a high flying life. You're just knackered all the time.
Yeah.
I totally get it. I totally get it. What turns you on? Go on.
What turns me on? That is a very good question. I would say I'm a sucker, and I hope I'm going to find the right audience here for a spicy fantasy book, like, or just like
Ooh.
a really spicy rom-com. So, like, I think the most recent one I read was Beach Read, and that was Emily Henry, and that wasn't even that spicy, but it just like
I like
like I
that.
picture myself in that scene, and I'm like, okay.
I'm into it. I did, babe. I read 50 Shades of Grey. Have you read the Thrones and Roses? Apparently,
Court of
that's
Thorns and
quite.
Roses.
Yeah, apparently
Yes.
that's quite saucy. Would you recommend that?
That is saucy. It is saucy. Not in the first one, I would say.
Okay.
But
Well,
the rest is so good.
any recommendations that you can give me?
How
I
much time do you have? I've got a whole list I could
Yeah,
give
because
you.
I guess as well, that's a good time to do it. So say that you're in bed, your partner's in the shower, or you're feeling a little bit knackered and you're thinking, oh, we should have sex. So pick up your book, turn a few pages, and by the time that he's got into that bed, maybe you're ready to go.
You know what? Another thing people do, and I tried this out myself, and I did a whole like article on it, is porn dosing.
Ooh.
And porn dosing is like essentially. So have you heard of Quinn?
Quinn, no.
So it's an audio porn app, and there's like Bloom Stories is another one, and they're getting really, really popular.
Mm-hmm.
And it's essentially porn, but written usually by women, or actually, by men as well, but who actually know what women want.
I see.
And it's like a one-sided story, so it's speaking to you like you're in that story.
Ooh, love that.
And it's audio porn, and it really gets you going. And porn dosing is listening to that like whilst you're doing your supermarket shop,
Oh.
or when you're doing something really mundane, or like even like say you have kids and you're like prepping their lunches or making dinner.
This is brilliant. Get me onto it. Yeah, I'm gonna be listening to that on the way home now.
Well, what turns you on?
What turns me on? I like being very sort of handsy, sort of in public places. And I'm not saying that means doing anything, but I quite like a bit of, I don't know, I'm a kind of sucker for that, like a few naughty things in the ear when you're on your commute, and sort of finding little hidden corners to sort of have a cheeky snog and a little, you know, over the top of
Mhm.
the. I like all that. I'm sort of into that.
There's nothing sexier.
I love it. I've always been a sucker for that. Yeah, that definitely turns me on.
Well, it's especially when you can be like, oh, stop it. Like,
Yeah.
don't do that. It's so inappropriate.
It's quite risky. I was actually reading an article, isn't it, in a magazine, and there was a story about a couple they're on a flight, and they sort of got down to it in the back seat of the plane, and I was just so into that. And there's just something about it that's just very kinky and naughty, and I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I do think there's a lot to be said for building it up throughout the day. Like,
Yeah.
there is nothing that like will get me excited more than like if I'm making dinner and he like comes up behind me and he's like,
Yeah.
"Oh, I've missed you. Like, you look really good
Yeah,
today.
yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah,
I was
yeah.
thinking about you all day, and in my head we were doing this, and it's just like
Yeah, I'm into it.
you're speaking my
Yeah.
language now."
Yes, there is definitely something, and I think that if it is in a, like, say you're all traveling together, there's something about the flight thing that really, I was like, oh yeah, imagine being in the flight and having that tension building up and not knowing that you can really do anything because it's kind of forbidden, and you that desires creates more desire than not doing it, and then finally you get that release. It's the build up. It's really sexy, I
Super
find.
sexy,
Yeah,
for
that's
sure.
definitely it for me.
Although you're a lot braver than I am, I don't know if I could venture out and do that on a plane. I'm such like I don't want to say I'm a goody goody, but when it's like a bit naughty,
Yeah, I think I was more like that when I was younger. Definitely, when you've kind of got no inhibition. I wonder if now I would be a bit more self-aware. but, but a little bit of summer. Why not?
So, where does foreplay start for you?
Gosh, I think it starts at the restaurant. It starts after you finished that final bite, and it's the touching the legs underneath the table and the grabbing each other's hands, and it's the cheeky, if you say you were with a group of friends, the cheeky wink across the room, and the so yeah, the oh yeah, and the longing sort of eye, and again, and then it's the finding the moment when everyone's upstairs and you're in a really busy dancey bar, and then you all both go to the bathroom at the same time and you have a stolen kiss. It's definitely, all of that is so sexy to me. And in the cab on the way home, the neck kisses, you know, and the communicating with each other what we're excited about doing when we get back. That's it's the whole build up for me. I love it all. I love it. It's just desire and build up absolutely for me.
I would say that I think honestly, for me, it starts from the second I wake up. And I don't mean like the second I wake up when I look like an absolute state,
Never.
and my eye mask is halfway off my head. But I think as soon as, like, if I come home from work and I've been getting messages throughout the day, like, just knowing that he's thinking about me, which is saying a lot because he loves to golf and golf is all he thinks about.
Men and the golf.
So I am a golf widow. So
R.I.P.
yeah, so when I make it in the thoughts throughout the day and I still get my periodic texts, it means a lot.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And just to come home and find that like he's folded my clothes for me,
Mm.
or that he's bought me some chocolate that he knows I really like,
So sweet.
little things, it really just makes me think like, well, now I really do want to rip your clothes off. Like I always want to take his clothes off because I think he's really handsome, but it's that feeling of like being desired and being,
You wanted, being
catered
thought
to.
of. Yeah.
And especially like if you're out in public and like the hand on your waist, like guiding you through everyone, or like, moving people slightly so you don't get like knocked out by someone's elbow.
So sexy when guys, you're walking on the side of the road and then they put you to the other side.
Yeah.
I love it. Like,
But it's just little, like, not even sacrifices, but just little kind of moments where it's like, okay, I'm at the forefront of your mind and I appreciate that. And then you feel really desired when you get into bed.
do you think that's also them being in their masculine, which is quite nice as well? So they're sort of like taking the lead. They're sort of like, their love language is doing duties and doing things for you. And like you said, those little things. It's like he's in his like masculine caretaker energy, which is quite nice and maybe makes you feel quite feminine and looked after.
Yeah, I've never actually thought about it like that, but you have hit the nail on the head. It's just really comforting and nice. And I think, yeah, I think I do get very aroused from the feeling of being cared for. I think that's where I get off, and a very responsive desire as well. So I need that to feel like I'm in the mood. Otherwise, it's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen, hon.
No, no, not at all. Not at all. Much to his dismay.
Oh my God, oh my God. What is your biggest ick, though?
That's hard. My biggest ick, I would say, not being listened to. Like, if we're going from like an emotional standpoint, not if I have to tell you something 3 times and I don't feel heard in the relationship, I'm I'm gonna lose my marbles, and B, I'm not gonna want to take your clothes off or be anywhere near you because I feel like I may as well be in a relationship with a brick wall.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I think if we're talking about kind of like dating icks or early relationship icks, I would say not being responsive on your phone either, or smoking's one for me. It's not
Oh,
like,
really?
yeah,
Smoking's Nick.
like I get socially, I don't mind, but when it's like, and vaping as well, it's
Yeah.
just to have something in your hand the whole time and need something in your hand. It's just like, put it down and pay attention to me.
Yeah, absolutely. I get that. I sometimes do smoke socially, but not full on. But if I couldn't date a full on smoker, that sort of cigarette smell a lot of the time, and also it's really
Yeah.
bad for you.
Well, what's your ultimate ick though?
Ultimate ick. Oh, this is so hard. I get such an ick when I first start dating someone and I look at who are they following, and it's just a load of girls from, you know, Hinge or models, glamour models. I just get such an ick because I'm just thinking, why are you doing that? It's just a huge red flag for me.
No, I'm not surprised.
Yeah, I don't do it. And if, oh my God, my dream man hasn't posted a photo since 2002.
Really?
And has no followers.
It makes you question, what are you getting out of it apart from like a very quick, like, oh, I'm such a man around town. It just blows my mind as to why that is so important.
It's insecurity and validation, because I was dating a guy and I had a look after we broke up. I gave it about a month and I just looked and he was just following so many girls. And I thought, okay, this isn't about, this is something I think about validation or connection or feeling. If they're going to follow him back, then maybe that means that they like the look of him or what he's about. So it gives him, like I said, I keep saying validation, but yeah, I don't do that. I just follow great people of things that I like, and occasionally a gorgeous fit someone. Who do I fancy? Like Jacob Elordi, obviously going to get a follow. But
So
yeah,
handsome.
that's such an. And also, the biggest thing how I'm in a relationship that you are not getting sex is playing on that PlayStation. Absolutely, put that PlayStation down, or it's going out the window.
Oh no, is there a game in particular that's a
Oh,
real rage inducer or no?
What's that thing? Is it COD? Call of Duty?
Call of Duty.
Oh, no, it's not sexy. Just no.
It's when the headset's on for me.
And they're talking to some kid or something. They're playing against some kid with a headset on. I'm like, you're 32. Grow up. No.
I don't mind it in moderation, and if it's not like, oh, can you come do this? Yeah. I just need to finish this whole entire game and like kill everything because I need to get a high score or whatever. It just,
I guess it's the only way. I'm thinking, what is our version of that? Maybe it's us watching the Kardashians or Housewives or something. It's just numb. It's like we're having a lobotomy, isn't it? It's like we zone out. But I would much rather be like, watch him reading a book with a coffee out the window or learning his guitar than speaking to an 8-year-old on Call of Duty. No. So that's definitely my ick.
I feel that on a deep level, but I'm sure we're guilty of something. I'm trying to work
Like
out
I
what
said,
it
it must be something like the Kardashians or Housewives, just something that they don't really get. But then I've had boyfriends when I'm watching that they do get interested.
Have you seen the TikTok trends where it's like, oh, I put on my favorite trash show that he didn't want to watch,
Yeah.
and then you just see them hands on the hips, like stood behind the sofa, just
Exactly.
eyes glued to the screen.
Peeping out. They want to know because it is, in fact, quite interesting.
Oh, and very informative.
Anyway, boys, if you're listening, please let us know, what is your version of Call of Duty for the ladies? We are gagging to know.
All right, I think it's time for the hot take of the week.
Here we go.
What's the weirdest or most awkward place you've ever tried or succeeded to have sex?
Gosh, I've said this once. I've had sex in a public. Oh, I felt awful.
Just let it out. It's
I'm
fine.
nervous. What to say? I've had sex in a public bathroom before with a long-term boyfriend, and it's not the easiest. And it was a bit smelly as well. It's not quite sexy, but I think we just, together for a long time. You just got to go for it.
Yeah.
And
I
the
support that, though.
logistics, it was quite small, and you're trying to do the deed, and you've got people where it is. Yeah, it was a lot.
Are we talking Portaloo or are we talking like just poorly kept?
Just a very poorly kept, unhygienic bathroom.
Nice. Really, really sexy there.
Really sexy, that one. Yeah.
I would say mine are quite pedestrian, unfortunately. I would say like the kitchen counter
Right.
is one that I've done and then quickly had to run upstairs when someone has gotten home very quickly straight after. It's been a bit mortifying.
Right.
I did it on a car bonnet,
Oh, good for you.
but not in public. It was like in the garage.
That's
So I
very
don't know if that's
sexy.
as exciting as it sounds.
Oh, I love that. It's quite glamorous.
I'm sure it didn't look glamorous, but in my head, it looked like a porn set. It was great.
I was just say it's very sort of like 80s porno. So I was like,
Yeah.
I'm really into that. Yeah. Okay, well, recommendations. Don't have sex in a stinky toilet. No.
No. Okay. Well, I cannot wait for Mia to get back in touch because she was so brilliant and I really want to know if they get a lock on their door.
I know. We need a lock on that door. No, she was great. She was so good at sharing as well. I felt like I really got the whole story and really eloquently spoken. And I'm obsessed that she called from Italy as well.
I know, she puts you and I to shame there, I think.
Yeah, it's so chic. She's great. I loved her. Mia, call us back. Let us know what goes on. That's it for this week's episode of Just Between Us, the podcast with all the answers, some of the time.
If you've got a story, a question, or you simply want to spill the tea, then we want to hear from you.
And make sure that you're following us on Instagram and TikTok on JBU Pod, where we're doing extra clips and all the back scenes footage.
Plus, if you want to be one of our callers, then email us at justbetweenus@metro.co.uk.
Or join our WhatsApp group. Come on in. It's where all the fun happens, and the link is in our bio. Until next time, keep it messy, keep it honest,
And remember,
it's just between us.
If you love the podcast, which we hope you do, then please hit follow in your podcast app so you never miss an episode. Or if you're watching on YouTube, then subscribe to our channel for more good stuff like this.